Hello, this is Peter Combs from P.L. Combs Asian Art and Bidamount.com in Gloucester, Massachusetts. Today we're going to take a look at just one piece of porcelain, an item that passed through our hands not long ago. It was a rather exceptional example, and it relates to the now famous 100 Boys pattern. It's a Wanli mark and period box. Quite exceptional, very beautifully done. The design, which echoes the 100 Boys theme, was particularly popular in the late Ming Dynasty, adorning a variety of objects made in different media, including lacquer, textiles, and porcelain. It represents the wish for many sons and descendants, particularly distinguished noble sons, Gixi, who will pass the civil service exam with high honors. This was a goal that was very popular among fathers and children in Chinese families, that they would get past the civil service exam to ensure a great life. Another scholar's view on this was Rosemary Scott at the Percival David Foundation in London. In 1989, she wrote where she said that the boys at play may be linked to the Taoist theme of the old regaining their youth. The Wanli Emperor was a devout Taoist, hence Taoist iconography was much favored and readily employed by artists working for the court at that time. And here is a typical pattern of a very high-end Wanli 100 Boys jar. As you can see, they're in a procession, all carrying different objects, playing, having fun. And here's another one. This one is in the Peabody Essex Museum in Salem, Massachusetts. The pattern on this, with the centrally seated figure being surrounded by boys, is the basic pattern for this box. Here it is. This is the one that we are going to discuss, and we've done a video on it that will follow along very shortly. We've also added at the end of this additional photos for your examination to learn a bit about it. And this is the box we're going to talk about. It's a Wanli period 100 Boys box. They were made in considerable numbers. They made quite a few of them, though they're not common. And they typically measure about 9 inches in diameter, as this one does. And this particular one came from a local estate. It had been in the family since it was brought back from China by a family member during the 1860s. We were able to find out who he was, even the name of the ship that he was on. This box is now heading to Hong Kong to a new owner. It's quite an example, and if you pick it up, you can really get a good look at it and how it was done. Very typical of the Wanli period. The figures are all nicely outlined with the dark blue ink and then washed over, as you can see, with a lovely light blue. Taking off the cover, you look in, and here's the bottom half of the box. Notice the very nice bluish-green glaze that they coated the interior with. And one of the things you'll see as we look through this is how carefully they controlled the glaze between the unglazed and glazed areas. And here's a picture of the bottom. Okay, this is the lower section, and you can see that it has a continuous running band of dragons chasing the flaming pearl going around it. There's the pearl, there's the dragon. Then you have these nice devices at the top, shells and scrolls. Here's a piece of coral and a 5-clawed dragon, and the scrolling vine or wave pattern beneath his feet. Also notice how neatly the glaze ends right above the foot. Perfectly done with a very, very faint iron oxide line, and you can see more of it on the interior. It's not quite as neat on the underside of the foot, but it's very well done, very nicely controlled, and a nice thick glaze on it, which is what you want to see. It's a beautiful bit of workmanship. Remember, this is a 2-section piece, and they have to fit together perfectly. And this was not an easy feat to pull off in the 16th century. And here's the bottom of it, obviously, in the rain mark, the Wanli rain mark. And notice again this beautiful shiny glaze that's everywhere on it. And again, you get another view of the foot rim here. And minor bumps and whatnot. You can see where the potter had cleaned it up. If you examine these carefully, you can often see knife marks from where the potter worked on it to clean the piece before the firing to make it a good, tidy finish. And again, here's the upper section, and here's the lip where the cover fits over. It is done with extreme precision. It's one of the things that you'll notice about these. Unlike a lot of normal Ming wares, they're sort of a little bit wobbly and not perfectly round. This had to be done perfectly for the lid to fit as tightly as it does on this box. and they managed to keep the glaze off of it during the firing. And if you roll it around, you'll see that this nice, neat edge almost looks like it was done mechanically. It's done so beautifully. And we'll bring the lid back in here and take another look at it. And there it is. All right, again, that beautiful soft blue. I love the insects. I love the kid on the hobby horse down here. I love if you look at the scenes of what they're doing, children playing a game at this table, another boy with a kite up here, and they're all pursuing various sort of afternoon recreational and academic pursuits. Here's a couple of boys reading books and being read to by either a parent or an elder of some kind. Here's another boy playing an instrument. Really interesting. And if you tip it up on this upper section again, you see a repeat of the dragons chasing the pearl again. Same exact dragons running around it. And here's another one of them. He's looking back at the dragon and the pearl behind him as he bounds along. And here's the interior of the lid. Again, very neatly glazed. This decidedly bluish-green tinge to the glaze itself. And the very, very careful and neat way the unglazed area was finished so it would fit into receive the lower section when they were put together. This is extremely important. If you've handled a lot of Chinese boxes, you know that quite often they wobble a little bit. This box doesn't wobble at all. The lid fits perfectly onto the base all the way around. And that's it. And we've put some additional photos up of this particular box with some details that'll follow this video. And take a look and learn a bit more about them. And they're quite exceptional. Thank you for joining me.